Alrighty, everybody. Hello, hello. Good evening. Hope everyone's having a beautiful Wednesday. We're going to get right on into it here in a moment. We're just going to take a minute for a couple people to join. It usually takes a minute for those notifications to go out and stuff like that. But I'll tell you what, though, we have quite the news today. Or quite the update, I should say. We do got some new models. We got some new model runs, stuff like that. It is going to be, regardless, pretty crazy. Just to see what we're going to be expecting out of the storm. I mean, we're talking like heavy snow, heavy ice, all kinds of stuff. Anyways, let's see who we got today. We have Mark. What's up, good? What's up, dude? Hope you're doing well. Good to see ya. What's up, Dylan? Saying things have changed a lot since yesterday. They really have. Yes. What's up, Rosie? Good to see you. Said all right. Notification set 30 minutes. Oh yeah, we're well past that point at this point. What's up, Tabletop? Good to see you, man. What do I think about Wilmington, North Carolina? Honestly, you're probably not going to see much, to be honest with you. I think if anything, you're definitely not going to see any snow. From the latest guidance and stuff like that. Let's actually hop our way over here to the latest guidance. So this is the GFS model here. The latest beloved GFS. So yeah, I mean, for you, you're mostly going to be just relatively to the south of those accumulations here for the most part, and that's the model that really wants the system to go further south. It's really Euro that wants the system to go pretty high up to the north. I mean, almost keeping North Carolina completely out of the snowfall almost, but I don't think you're going to see much. If you do, it's going to be a lot of ice probably. What's up, Joplin? Good to see you, dude. Hope you're doing well. What's up, Tammy? See lots of lake effect snow. I saw that actually. Here, let's take a brief moment here to hop over to the Great Lakes. Let's see what we got going on. Yeah, I did see that earlier on the models. Let's take a quick peek and see what's going on. It looks like we are getting a bit, especially out by like West Michigan here. Let's try like East Wisconsin, maybe. Maybe we got some good snow going on over here as well. Yep, absolutely. Anyways, enough of that. Let's see here. No freezing rain. No freezing. Yeah, let's hope not. But there's going to be a lot of it for a lot of people. It's just right now we got to kind of figure out where that that freezing rain or the ice snow line essentially, where that's going to end up being here. Take 2 foot of snow over 1 inch of freezing rain. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see here. Bluegrass says, hey, Andrew, chat, how bad will Louisville, Kentucky get? So here's what the models kind of stand here by Louisville. So according to the Euro, the ECMWF here, looks like we could see about possibly 12, 13, 14 inches, according to the Euro. Now, don't take that one model specifically as what you're expected to get, because it's not true. If you look at the GFS, look how much lower the totals here. I mean, GFS only has you guys in like 3-4 inches, and I mentioned this to you guys a while back. These totals are going to be fluctuating a lot up until the event really starts to occur. That's the thing about trusting those early snow totals. You really can't, because they're always changing. They're always going to change. I mean, honestly, like I said, usually the day before the event is when I really like to look at those, sometimes 2 days before, which is now, if there's more agreement, but there's really not a whole lot. But anyways, Louisville, not much there from GFS, but Euro, it does. A lot of this has to do with the ice and snow line here. For an example, you can see where the main streak of snow, according to the GFS model, this is the 18 Zulu run, so this is the latest one we got. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a little, just a little circle kind of right around where the heaviest accumulations are. So that's kind of where we basically could see some areas up to 12 foot. Sorry, I keep saying feet, 12 inches or more. So that's where GFS wants that line to essentially be. Now, if we compare that with Euro, you can obviously see that Euro is a lot further up to the north here. We'll do Euro in kind of a light blue here, just to kind of show where things are there. So yeah, Euro wants that margin to be up a lot further to the north. So there's obviously a bit of disagreement there, and you can kind of see some areas like Tennessee isn't a big question mark right now, because like we were just saying, GFS wants that area to see possibly a foot or more of snow, but Euro, some places not even an inch. That just shows you how big of disagreement there still is for some of these places here. That's really the big thing that we need to look out for is once those models come to an agreement on the main snowline path, that's when those will really kind of lock in. Anyways, I have a lot of chats to go through here. Let's see here. Let's go and see if we can't get through a lot of these. What's up, Tammy? Good to see you. I live in Carrollton, Georgia. How is it looking for me, please? Let me pull it up. Hope you're doing good. Let's see. Okay, so you're up in... Okay, so you're kind of west of Atlanta here. Gotcha. Yeah, either or. You're not going to see much snow out of this event here. I mean, even the GFS doesn't really have you getting much of that. However, one thing I do want to look at here is the ice concern. Let's actually compare the GFS and the Euro. So the European model is on the right panel. The American GFS is on the left panel here. So, I mean, you can see where you're at. Specifically, the GFS wants a lot of freezing rain. I mean, possibly over an inch or so of freezing rain here west of Atlanta, and probably even towards Atlanta, according to the GFS here. But Euro's different. You can see Euro has like maybe a couple tenths of an inch. Honestly, the models are just so total polar opposites right now. It's really hard to believe what we can see out here. But given the fact that both models do show ice in the area, we need you to look out for it, and we need you to keep an eye on it. Because, I mean, it really doesn't take much ice to cause a lot of problems. So that's something to remember. So what I would personally do is I would expect the worst, hope for the best. I would plan as if we were going to get a lot of ice. Both models do show it, but the totals are drastically different from one another. So, we'll just have to see what happens. But yeah, I definitely prepare for the worst, hope for the best with that. Let's see, I'm back. What about Memphis? So Memphis is kind of also in a little bit of a gray area here. So the GFS model wants Memphis to get a lot of snow, while the Euro wants it to get a lot of ice. So it's like, what do you believe? So here's what I'm going to do, actually. I'm going to go ahead and bring up our Precipitation Mark III. This is the panel I created here. I do need to make one for the accumulations and stuff, so I might do that in a little bit. But anyways, so let's go ahead and load that up here. Get those comparisons going here. So out by Memphis, the way it looks, honestly, most of the models do suggest mostly ice. It really kind of starts out here possibly as some sleet, maybe some freezing rain. Seems like most of the models agree on that. And then, of course, according to, let's see. So, yeah, Euro keeps you in freezing rain for a while. GFS has you getting into snow out by Memphis here, kind of on the back end of the system. Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to tell. I mean, it's for a lot of people, honestly. It's getting to the point where it's a little tricky because of just how much disagreement there is. But like I said, I'd prepare for both freezing rain and snow. Just prepare equally, honestly. It's the best thing we can do. Given that we're getting closer to the event. I mean, today is, it's late Wednesday now. The event's starting kind of mid-Friday. Really going into Saturday and Sunday. And the fact that we're getting closer and there's still a lot of a disagreement here, I mean, it's really going to limit the amount of time that you have to prepare for the event here. So what I recommend is prepare for the worst. I would expect ice and snow. So, all right, let's see here. I'm a little bit far behind. I really apologize. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can't speed through some of these a little bit quicker here. Let's see here. How about Missouri? So Missouri is in kind of a little bit of an iffy territory as well. 5 models we have brought up here. You can see that Missouri will likely get some snow. It's really only the GFS that doesn't show as much, per se. From the way that it looks, obviously majority of models. Look at this. I find this kind of crazy, is that the AI GFS model actually has it kind of agreeing with Euro and pushing further north. I'm going to place my bets. I think that tomorrow, now obviously this could go either way. This is just me kind of goofing off here, but I think that GFS probably could, get closer to Euro tomorrow. Maybe the GFS tomorrow will actually shift a little bit further north, given that literally every other model suggests that, being further north, including the AI GFS, having that a lot further north here. So we'll see what GFS does, actually with that. But in terms of totals and stuff, honestly, I really can't tell you at the moment. There's just so much. I mean, I could show you the totals here, which we'll do real quickly. Like if I bring up the snow accumulation map here, we'll look at the GFS. So the American GFS here obviously shows the heaviest towards southern Missouri, but honestly, I mean, not a ridiculous amount of totals. I mean, we're talking, a good 1 to 3 inches for a lot of the central southern state, according to GFS model. But then you got Euro, a lot different story you can see. Euro has a lot of the central state, kind of more towards like maybe 4 to 8 inches, going into the southern side, possibly more like upwards of 8 to 12 in some areas. So definitely a bit of a difference there. And once again, the main thing is determining where that snow ice line is, where the cutoff point between freezing rain and snow is going to be. That'll tell you who's going to get the heavy ice and who's going to get the heavy snow, which unfortunately the models are just not quite there yet. Not quite there yet. All right, let's see here. What's up, Anthony? Good to see you. What's up, D? Hope you're doing well. See southeastern Kansas, going to be fun. Yeah, so Euro shows a bit of snow out there. GFS shows a little bit less, actually. Honestly, southeast Kansas, yeah, it'll definitely be a good little snowstorm, but most of the heavy stuff will likely be east of you. Let's see here. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and scroll down a little bit here. Let's see. What are some of the outcomes in Raleigh, North Carolina could see? Good question, by the way. So heads up to my North Carolina folks here. So out there by Raleigh, so we're starting off with the European model. Now, this was the one that really wanted the snow to go to the north here. So according to the European model, there's really not a lot of snow expected here for North Carolina, really in general, from the European model here. This is the 18 UTC run. Now, the GFS, even at this point, you can really kind of see that, well, I mean, a little bit later down in, towards the end of the storm here, we could pick up maybe a couple inches. But the way it looks now is that, at least the way the models are agreeing right now, is that it doesn't look like you're going to get a lot of snow. However, there is going to be some really heavy ice impacts here, and that I can actually show you here now. When comparing the two models, you can see that the Euro, wants several tenths of an inch here. I mean, possibly over, maybe even a half inch or more of ice. While then you got the GFS, which shows, a little bit less ice, a little bit more snow, as we were just looking at here. So, got to kind of find the ratio right now between snow to ice is like, it's impossible to tell. The models are just so much in disagreement right now, right at the current moment. Hopefully, I'm hoping tomorrow that the models will look a lot better here. But like I said, for everybody else, I mean, for these low confidence areas here, for not knowing the full impacts directly, like I said, prepare for the worst, prepare for heavy ice, prepare as you would an ice storm here, and just make sure you have enough, non-perishable food, water, make sure those generators are up and running, stuff like that, would be heavily recommended there. All right, let's see here. Could it possibly shift into the north tomorrow and slam northeast Ohio? Well, I mean, yeah, the storm's still moving around a bit. I mean, the models need to come to an agreement. But for northeast Ohio, let's pull up let's see, we'll go ahead and bring up our precipitation type comparison here, just to look at the five main models here. The way it looks, here we go. The way it looks is that there is quite a bit of support for a lot of that snow going out there. I mean, you can see the gem here, showing that snow really going up into the Ohio Valley, the Great Lakes region here. We'll make this a little bit bigger for you guys. That's in the top right panel there. Then you got Euro, which shows some pretty heavy snow falling out there as well. I mean, AIGFS shows it. The ECMWF AIFS shows that as well. GFS is really the main outlier here, as you can see. So, yeah, I mean, it's certainly possible. Absolutely. The storm's track is, still going to shift a little bit, either north or south. I mean, plus or minus, it could go either way. So, yeah, I mean, it's still possible. Still possible. All right, let's see here. Let's go and see here. All right, let's make sure we are. Like I said, I'm really sorry, guys. There's a lot of chats here tonight, so I'm trying to get to everybody here. Tabletop, I already told you earlier, dude. I was saying that your area is not going to see any snow. You might see some ice, though, so keep an eye for that. All right, let's see here. Tammy says, "Gonna pick up some more gas for the generator in the morning." Thank you. You're very welcome. Very, very welcome. What's up, Anthony? Saying, "Hi, Andrew. If it shifts, will it miss Miami, Oklahoma?" I read Miami is like Florida for a minute. I'm like, yeah, I don't think we're going to get it down here. So first of all, what I need to do, I need to find out where Miami, Oklahoma is. Let's see. Let me pull it up right here. Oklahoma. Okay, so this is so this is like far northeast Oklahoma. Gotcha. Y'all might hear my cat in the background. He's screaming to get in here, and as soon as I let him in, he's going to want right back out. So, anyways, honestly, it looks like you're pretty locked in by a lot of the models here. I mean, even the GFS you can see showing you in some decent snow total or decent snow rates, which could lead to some decent totals here. Let me pull up the accumulation map here. We'll see what the models agree on. So GFS, okay, keeps that main streak to your south. Has Miami area here right around 4 inches or so, roughly. I'd say anywhere from 3 to 5, just to give that middle ground. Give a little bit of wiggle room. It's good. But then you got Euro here, which shows like 7, 8 inches here. So whatever the middle ground is between that, I mean, regardless, the models do show, I mean, it's a decent amount of snowfall. I wouldn't say at this point that it would completely miss you. I mean, I think you're pretty locked in, given that you're kind of on the beginning of the event, too. You're kind of in the event for Friday, Saturday. Some of those eastern areas are a lot more tricky because that is a lot further out for one. And we need to kind of see how the storm kicks up, and how it starts performing, before we go way over here. But, yeah, I mean, we'll definitely keep an eye on it, but I don't think you're going to be completely removed from the snow. I think you're pretty locked in for at least a decent amount here. All right, let's see here. What about Sneedville, Tennessee? So Tennessee is one of the ones that's like a little bit of a big question mark here. So you're actually up here in northeastern Tennessee. So that's kind of one of those tricky spots here. So the Euro model, you can see, doesn't really show a whole lot of snow out there by you. But then you have the GFS here. It shows you in like way more than a foot of snow. So it's like, huh? Who do you trust? Really? So it's just weird. It's just really weird. Let's see. Let's look at some of these other models here. Let's see the AIGFS. Okay, so the AIGFS shows maybe upwards of, it really shows maybe a good 2 to 4 inches, locally higher amounts possible, according to that in particular model. The ECMWF shows a little bit. I'd expect a little bit of snow. What I would do if I was in your shoes, I would expect both ice and snow. It really depends on the track of the system and where that ice and that snow line is going to be. That's what's most important. That's kind of what we need to look out for. So I'd prepare for both of them. Honestly, to be honest with you, the ratio snow to ice, we're not too sure on it right now, just because of how much the models are still disagreeing here. It makes things very tricky. All right, let's see here. What about Austin? Austin, Texas. Well, yeah, Texas is going to get a little bit here. Let's try to maybe get through someone. I'm really falling behind the chat here, so I'm going to try to hurry up here. So, Austin, according to GFS, doesn't really show much of accumulation with any snow, per se. Euro, on the other hand, agrees. So you're not really going to see any snow from what it looks like. However, ice accumulations here You could be in for maybe a couple tenths of an inch here. I mean, Euro shows anywhere from 1 to 3 tenths of an inch, while the GFS shows maybe a little trace. There definitely could be some ice out there, so I'd definitely keep an eye on it, and it's something to watch, and Austin should keep an eye on it. The Austin area. But yeah, I don't expect any snow out there from given the way the models are looking at right now. All right. Let's see here. I'm gonna go ahead and scroll down a little bit. I apologize here. I'm just gonna try to keep up with the chat a little bit here. Let's see. If I accidentally went over your question, just repost it. Don't spam it. Only post it once. And I'll try to get through it. All right. Let's see here. Brent says hello from Freesboro, Tennessee. Good to see you, dude. Hope you're doing well. Let's see. Chogan says I'm concerned for Denton County. I was hoping for snow, if anything, in Dallas-Fort Worth, but it doesn't look like it. I live in an apartment, and we went through Snowmageddon of 21. Power was off for an hour. That is crazy. For an hour? That's rookie numbers. I know, I get it. It sucks. Even for an hour, it's terrible. Yeah. So for Denton County, wait, is Denton County? Wow, is that Texas? I mean, I know you said Dallas-Fort Worth. I keep thinking of Denton, Ohio, for some reason. Anyways, but yeah, for the Dallas area, it doesn't look like much snow. It looks like possibly a bit of ice. So we need to prepare for the ice and stuff like that. We need to, expect the worst there. So I mean, yeah, Dallas area will probably get at least a couple tenths of an inch of ice, which is enough to cause some problems and stuff. So, absolutely. All right, let's see here. Evan says, how are we looking in southern Illinois? Is it Illinois or Illinois? All right, let's see here. So, snow accumulation map. We'll pull this up for you. We'll look at the GFS first. So, depends how far south you are, because the further south you go, the totals increase. But we'll just say you're like right in here, okay? Anywhere from 1 to 3 inches from GFS. The Euro, look at the total. I mean, the whole snow line's shifted north, which brings you in like 7, 8, 9 inches or so. So I mean, it's all over the place, man. It really is. Now, thing is, I don't think you're gonna see as much. I don't think you're gonna have much of an ice concern. GFS wants that ice a lot further south than you, and then of course you have the Euro, which has more snow for you, but still the ice will likely be south of you. I don't think you're gonna have any ice concern per se, but I do think that you're gonna have a little bit of a snow concern regardless. It's just how much totals. Can't tell you. I mean, if I knew it, I would obviously tell you, but I don't know it because the models are just so iffy right now. Even though we're getting closer to the event, but it's just a very tricky storm. All right, let's see here. What about Northeast Tennessee? Yeah, Tennessee is one of those areas as well that's just so far off on the models here. You can see you can see the European model showing trace amounts, a couple tenths of an inch in some areas. Then you got GFS here on the other hand that shows you like in a foot, some areas near 1.5 feet, which, like I said, just two polar opposites, totally different than one another. It's crazy. We did break into the other models here too. Most models do think you'll get snow. So more than likely you'll be within that snow band, and the ice would likely be south of you. There's a better chance of the ice being more south of you than it is north of you, essentially. So, but I would prepare for ice and snow. The same. I'd prepare for heavy ice or heavy snow. Either way, you need to be prepared because you're going to get hit regardless. It's just what precipitation type is still unknown, but it'll either be ice or snow. But it'll be in good quantities, either or. So definitely got to look out for that. All right, let's see here. Anthony says, thank you, Andrew. You're awesome, bud. No problem, dude. You're very, very welcome. All right, let's see here. Let's see here. We're stocked up for ice and snow, gas for generators, plenty of firewood. Good to see it. Good to see it. Glad that you're getting prepped for that. That's awesome. What's up, Caden? Saying, how's my day? It's been a busy one. It's been a real busy one. I've been putting up a lot of content here for you guys today. Let's see, this is our second stream today. I posted 2 shorts and 1 long video. So, yeah, I've been pretty busy. I've been pretty busy keeping you guys up to date with this one. All right, let's see here. Chogan, I got you. Let's see. This was in Dallas, Texas. Yeah. Like I said, Dallas. Oh, we just looked there a minute ago for you. With the snow totals, I mean, GFS does show maybe a couple inches. Euro, not really much. Yeah, your main problem's gonna be ice concern. All right, what's up, Auntie? Good to see you. Saying, hey, Andrew, I live in Riceville, Tennessee. Gotcha. Yeah, Tennessee is a state that is really not knowing what to expect. Yeah, especially up there in eastern. You're in southeastern Tennessee here. The way the models have it, here's the Euro model we're on right now, by the way. Doesn't really show a whole lot of snow down there, but you'd likely be getting some ice here. Then GFS has a little bit. So actually where you're at, you're probably not going to see much snow. You'll probably see a pretty good amount of ice though. So that I would expect to, I would expect you guys to get a little bit of ice there. So how much snow do I think that Springfield, Missouri would get? Good question. So Springfield, according to the GFS, has a good maybe 2 to 4 inches or so. Then you got Euro on the other hand, which has that line further north, giving you more. The good news is that you're going to be you're going to be north of that ice line regardless. So you're probably not going to see much ice accumulations or any ice impacts really. The main thing for you is it's likely going to be just a lot of heavy snow, potentially. It just depends what happens. You're kind of on the top part of the storm, which keeps you in the colder air mass. Once you start mixing in the warm air mass, that's whenever you get that warm layer in the lower atmosphere, which can cause the freezing rain and all that garbage. The good news is that you should be mostly out of the ice, which is good. But snow, the totals is still all over the place. It really is. Yeah, I agree, Caden. GFS is really the main one that's lagging behind. If being for real with you guys, yeah, GFS is really the main one that's lagging behind, but it's also one of the main models. So the two main models, of course, are GFS and Euro. All right, let's see here. Dylan says too soon to prepare for snow. Like I said, it's good to prepare now. You don't want to wait because the longer you wait, the harder it'll be to get items, and putting it last minute, it's not really the best thing to do. Like I said, what the best thing for you guys to do is if you're in the general area of which we're forecasting for, lots of the Midwest, Ohio Valley, Central Plains, Mid-Atlantic, Tennessee Valley, Northeast. For a lot of you guys, I would recommend preparing for both ice or snow. I mean, yeah, that is what I'd do. I wouldn't wait till it's locked in because it could be last minute before the exact amount of totals gets locked in. For either ice or snow, So, like I said, the best thing to do right now is just prepare for both, really. I mean, there is a lot of disagreement still. There's really not much I can do about it. I mean, I'm just telling you guys the information that we have available to us. And the information we do have is a little bit of this disagreement still. All right, let's see here. Let's see here. What's up, Frankie? Good to see ya. I don't know if I already said hello or not. I don't even remember at this point. I've been up since 4 a.m., so I'm a little bit tired. Just gonna throw that out there. All right, let's see here. RC says, thanks for keeping us updated. It's greatly appreciated. You're very welcome. You're very welcome, my friend. What's up, Jenny? Good to see you. Saying hi. What's up? I bet you're excited. Although we're still not really let me try to rephrase that. We're still not really sure exactly the totals for your area up there. Yeah, I mean, both models do show some pretty good snow in the general area. Northern Virginia could be pretty decent. Could be pretty decent for sure. Let's see here. How far do I think the snow line will hit? There's no way of knowing, man. There really is. I mean, the models are so iffy. You've seen them. I'll show you real quickly kind of where they're at again. So this is the Euro model, right? This is the European model. So you can obviously see kind of where the main snow line is. This is where that margin of like a foot or more could be essentially, according to the models here. So basically we have this long line here. That's the Euro. Then you got the GFS, which you can see is a lot further south. So the euro is there in blue. We'll do GFS in red here. That way you can kind of see where the main line is. Now, there is a couple of intersection points, and the funny thing is, that just so happens to be where the storm starts. Given that it's less days out, given that we have more better agreement, that gives areas like eastern Oklahoma and north central Arkansas in a pretty good confidence zone. While the others, not so much. Because you got to remember, this is starting on Friday. Okay, so this is going to be Friday. The beginning. So we have a lot better idea what's going to happen Friday because it's closer. Then you go into Saturday and Sunday, you can see that that's whenever the models really start to diverge. That snow, that ice line is really kind of diverged there. The further you go out, it's just a classic example. The further you go out, the more inaccurate, the more less confidence here there really is. So, anyways, let's see, a lot of people wait till the last minute. Yeah, it's not good to wait till the last minute. Like I said, the best thing to do, at this point in time, we need you guys to start prepping for the storm, of course. But the best thing to do is just prepare for the worst. Obviously we'll hope for the best. And, for the snow ice line areas, which, really includes like a lot of these areas here, we really need you guys to prepare regardless. Roughly that circle there. But, because that snow ice line is still unknown, but either or is going to be pretty impactful regardless. And just like I said, everybody just needs to prepare for ice, expect ice, and of course heavy snow. Just make sure you have, the necessities. Make sure you have, if you have a generator, make sure it's good on oil, make sure it's good on gas. Make sure you have flashlight, extra batteries, candles, whatever. Just stuff like that. The basic list. To make sure you have all that stuff, and make sure you have it, arguably most importantly, food and water, or drinks, whatever, that will last you a while, several weeks we're talking. So anyways, let's see here. Radioactive says, in eastern North Carolina corridor, I'm preparing for a week without power. Yeah, it's good to prepare for it. Absolutely. Yeah. North Carolina could be in for quite a bit of ice, actually. What a lot of the models actually kind of do suggest. So, let's see here. Savage, just go to bed. I'll get there. Like I said, I got a job to do, and that's keeping you guys up to date with the updates. So I ain't going to bed until a little bit longer. Like I said, we're here to help. Let's see here. Believe it when I see it kind of thing. Yeah, the confidence, the system's going to exist. At this point, 100%, the storm's going to exist. It's going to be heavy ice, heavy snow. It's going to be both. But where that line's going to be is unknown. For some, it'll either be heavy ice. Some, it'll be either heavy snow. Some, it'll be kind of a mixture of both, potentially. Obviously, ice being the worst, we need to prepare for that the most, because ice is by far the way more destructive than any snow. Somebody said earlier in the chat, it's like, I'd rather have 2 feet of snow than 1 inch of ice, which totally agree. Anyways, let's see here. Anton says, is there a chance of snow and ice in my area in Riceville, Tennessee? Yes. So all of Tennessee has a good shot for some snow and some ice. We're not sure which one, though. Classic example you can see right here on the map we have up. This is the American GFS model with snowfall. A lot of the state, according to GFS, could get really a lot of snow. But then you pull up the Euro, and the Euro's like, no, we're not really getting much of anything here in Tennessee, other than, heavy ice, essentially. So, obviously, there's a big difference there. There's a heck of a big difference going on there. Yo, dude! We got a $50 donation coming in from Jenny. Thank you so much, Jenny. That is greatly appreciated. That is super sweet of you. Oh my goodness, dude. Thank you, Jenny. You did not have to do that, my friend. That helps me out a ton. You do not believe it. Thank you so much, Jenny. You guys in chat, please give Jenny a big thank you. By the way, I know it's Jeannie. I always called Jeannie Jenny since the beginning. Jenny is literally like one of the first subscribers on this channel, by the way. So shout out to you. Thank you for the 50, though. That's really, really nice of you. You did not have to do that. It's really sweet of you. Thank you so, so much. Um, wow, that's greatly, greatly appreciated, my friend. Thank you once again, Jenny. Much, much appreciated. All right, let's see. Let me try to get up to some of these questions. What about Lexington Park, Maryland? So I think Maryland, believe it or not, from what I've seen, actually has a better idea of what we could expect. So Maryland, I mean, you can see really some heavy totals out there. Let's see. You said Lexington Park. Let me just go ahead and bring that up here real quickly for you. Lexington Park, you're up in. Okay, that's right. You're kind of on the southern side. So yeah, you're kind of in more of the iffy area of Maryland. I was thinking more like northern Maryland. Um, Euro shows maybe a couple inches of snowfall out there. The American GFS shows like over a foot. So, like I said, it's one of those scenarios where it's like, who do you believe? But either or, I mean, say if we were to go with the Euro, say that Euro was to happen, you'd be less snow. That would actually mean you're going to be seeing heavier ice totals. As you can see here, the Euro on the right panel has you a lot of ice, while the American GFS doesn't, because the GFS wants snow for you, the Euro wants ice for you. So, but like I said, at this point in time, regardless, whether it's ice or snow, there's still going to be some heavy impacts out there. Prepare for ice. Like, I would go into it thinking, okay, we're getting the ice. Okay. Obviously, we'll see what happens with it. But I would go into it saying we're getting the ice, and I prepare for the worst, honestly. All right, let's see here. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and scroll down a little bit. I'm getting a little bit far behind. Actually, I'm not as far as I thought I was. Okay, we're good. All right, let's see here. Do I think that school will get canceled? Oh, it's a classic. The classic. Classic? That's a new one. The classic question. Let's see. DeKalb, Illinois. Let me pull that up here. Where's this at? Is this? Oh, this is Northern Illinois. Yeah, your chances aren't so good, honestly. Northern Illinois, I don't think is going to get much of anything. We'll pull up the precipitation comparison here. Let's see here, especially up north. You guys have a higher tolerance for snow closures, unlike some of these areas down south. Down here, we close for a flurry, but you guys could probably get like 6 inches of snow and it'd still be open. Anyways, I mean, there's some support, obviously, of some snow, but it's not really super long lived for the most part. It's just kind of just a quick little bit of snowfall. Obviously, the main totals are going to be well to the well to the south of you. Like, for an example, you can see GFS up there. I mean, not even an inch up there. Then you got the Euro, which would be the better scenario, but even then, it's a couple of inches, and I'm not sure what it is for your district, but like I said, you guys have a higher tolerance than us down here. So can't really tell you, unfortunately. Let's see here. If you get the worst case scenario, you'd have a better chance, obviously. That way you'd actually have some measurable snow, but it's hard to tell. All right. Anyways, Jenny says, I hope we don't lose electricity and water. Yeah, that wouldn't be good. I know a lot of places out there have well water. I grew up out there. So I know. I know for sure. Yeah, hopefully you don't lose it either. Let's see here. It's going to be likely shut down for many places. A lot of places are going to get shut down here from the ice and snow. Yeah, for sure. Let's see here. What about Stanton, Virginia? How much do you think we can get? We have a lot of people in Virginia, actually. A lot of my home state here. All right, so you, my friend, you're out west. Okay, you're up in the Blue Ridge area. Yeah, for you all, it's a little bit tricky. And Virginia is kind of in the point now. It seems like the models are starting to disagree more with Virginia here. You can really see the gradient here, though, out by Greenville, which is just south of you, like 4 inches or so. For you, like 8 inches. So that's a 4-inch drop off in a really short period of time for the Euro model. Now GFS, on the other hand, shows about 8 inches or so. It seems like for you, the Euro and GFS are roughly in sync, but there's a big ledge right here on the Euro model, which you barely go south. There's a huge drop off, while the American model, you go south, it actually goes up. So big disagreement there. But I mean, both models do show a pretty decent amount of snow potential out there. So that is that. All right, let's see here. Radioactive says, thank you for covering us. No problem, dude. I got you. Got you. What's up, Scott? Good to see ya. Hope you're doing well. Oh my goodness. How do you say, dude, how do you say your name? I'm going to try. I'm sorry if I say this wrong. It's going to be wrong. Yeknom? Is that how you say your name? Yeknom, thank you so much for the Category 1 support, my friend, for 3 months. Really appreciate it. Hopefully I'm saying your name right, which I'm not good with names, as you know. But anyways, he said, thanks for the update. I'm ready here in Connecticut. Just went out tonight, bought new snowblower. Oh, there you go. So hopefully we'll get hit. Yeah, man. Well, thank you so much for the Category 1 for 3 months. I appreciate the support, my friend. And, hopefully everything goes well for you. Hopefully you don't lose power or anything like that. And, hopefully you get just enough so that you can enjoy your new snowblower. But thanks, dude. I really appreciate that. Let's see here. Here in Tennessee mountains, the schools will close. Yeah, especially the mountains, they have a higher chance of closing because, inclination, you introduce a little ice to an inclined surface, that's going to be a total disaster. I mean, it is for, flat areas too. I mean, ice is terrible. But, once you introduce inclination, that's when it becomes a problem, or an even bigger problem. And it's already a massive problem with any ice, but you know what I mean? it becomes really bad. Let's see here. RC says, can I take a zip code and check snow totals, if any, please? Thanks. Of course. I got you. Yeah, guys, it might take a minute for me to get to you due to the amount of people that's here. But I will try to get to everybody. All right, so you're in Rhode Island. You're kind of on the end of the event here, which makes it even more uncertain, given the fact that it's farther out. But the GFS shows you 4 to 6 inches or so, locally higher amounts possible on the GFS. Euro shows more, kind of actually in the range of, more like 6 to 10 inches. There's obviously disagreement here, as there is a lot of places. Yeah, expect those totals to change quite a bit, honestly. Expect them to change. All right, let's see here. But yeah, there's no way of being, for sure, concrete total, you're getting this amount. There's no way of knowing that right now. All right, let's see here. Let's see here. Tommy says, thanks, no problem. Let's see here. St. Elmo's Fire says, made those reservations. Good, glad to hear. I remember you telling me about that. Good. Hopefully, everything goes well for you. Thank you, Tommy. I appreciate that for saying that. No playing around with ice. Yeah, ice, huge problem. Rochi says, hi, Andrew. I hope all is well. Watching the current recon plane mission. Whenever you have a chance, check it out. Wait, really? Do they actually have a plane up in that? Hold up. I gotta bring it up here. Let's bring up our tropical tidbit. Ooh, are they in it? Hold on. Oh, they're investigating the low right now. That's all. I think this is California's coast, right? Gotcha. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I can see why they're after it. They're trying to get as much data on it as they can. Anyways, let's see here. What's up, Calvin? Good to see you. Polly! Thank you so much, Tropical Storm Team, for 5 months, my friend. Thank you. Huge shout out to you, Polly. Thank you for that. Speaking of Polly, Polly's saying, hi, Andrew. What's up? Thank you so much. Let's see here. RC says, I understand. Thank you so much for checking for me, though. Of course, no problem. I got you. What's up, JW? Saying how much snow for zip code? Let me look. Remember, like I said, right now, even though we're getting close to the event, the totals for a lot of people is still a little iffy right now. We'll let you know you're in a special weather statement. What's this about? Gusty winds up to 40 mile an hour overnight. Okay. Anyways, so you're basically in central Indiana. Yep. A lot of it determines on how far north that goes. The main line goes. Euro wants it further up north, which is the model we're looking at now. According to the Euro, you could see out there a good 4 to 6 inches, maybe locally higher amounts possible. Then we look at the GFS. Barely anything, an inch at most. So, according to the GFS, I should say. So I mean, yeah, there's still a lot of disagreement. Like I said, we'll keep an eye on it. We'll work it out over the next few days. And once again, the event starts Friday afternoon, Friday evening. Um, Hopefully by then we'll have more better understanding of what exactly is going to happen. Like I said, I really wish I could tell you guys, 100% for what's going to happen, but models they're only good up to some extent here. Dude, no way, man. Holy cow, David, dude, thank you for the $25 Cash App donation, dude. Holy cow. So I wanted to say thanks again for the updates. You are welcome, dude. David, thank you, dude. That is greatly appreciated. You guys in the chat, please give David a big thank you for that. You seriously did not have to do that, my friend. That is really, really generous of you. That is greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for helping us out, though. I really appreciate it. It definitely goes a long way. And just thank you so much for that. It's really, really sweet of you. Thank you, guys. To everybody who's donated, really appreciate it. Obviously, to everybody else who just for being here. Thank you, guys. Seriously, I love y'all. Really appreciate it. Let's see. Roadster says, "Hi, Andrew. Keep our citrus safe, please." We'll definitely do. It's gonna be cold down here too, but it's not gonna be any snow or ice cold. RC says, "Love the channel and content. Thank you. Appreciate it." All right. Let's see here. Calvin says, "Any updates on winter weather here in Houston, Texas for the weekend?" So Houston, we have a problem. Because honestly, I don't think, from what we were looking at yesterday here in the models, I don't think they were really supporting much snow. Definitely not any snow. Let's look at the ice though. We'll compare the two models. Ooh, okay. So GFS does show a couple tenths of an inch here, possibly happening. But then you got Euro, which shows like really nothing. Really, you can see. I mean, close. Euro is also pretty close to Houston, but the way I'd take it is I would prepare for ice. It is a good possibility. Probably a couple of tenths of an inch is what I would go off of. Let's see. They actually do have winter storm watches already in effect here. Let's actually see what they say. This is from the Weather Service. Let's see. I would say probably ice accumulation, a couple tenths of an inch here. All right, heavy mixed precipitation possible. Total ice accumulation between 1/10 and 3/10 of an. Okay, well, yeah, that's basically what we were going with. Yeah, I wouldn't expect any snow. It's going to be north of you. Ice would be your main concern, and yeah, a couple of tenths of an inch possible, which still is more than enough to cause problems. Absolutely. So definitely need you to prep. Prep. That's a new one. Definitely need you to prep for it for sure. All right, let's see here. All right, let's see here. Thank you, Jenny. I really appreciate it. David says, "How is the zip code looking?" Thanks, buddy. No problem, dude. I got you. Let me pull it up for you. All right, so you're in Arkansas. Okay, so you're up north. You're up in like north central Arkansas. Gotcha. All right, good news is honestly, it looks like between both the Euro, maybe I should actually switch my scenes here. Between the European model, which is on the right, and the GFS on the left here, it doesn't look like the ice is going to be, in your area, but it's close. Euro being pushed up further north once the ice line a little bit closer, but you'd actually be mostly in the snow. If we bring up the totals here, we could be in for quite a bit. GFS out by you, once a good maybe. It really ranges. You can see there's quite a ledge here between southern Missouri and northern Arkansas. Quite a drop over a pretty short distance here, which makes things just a little bit more tricky, which is just what we need. Yeah, according to this model here, you're probably going to be maybe 4 to 6 locally higher from GFS. Now, Euro being pushed a little further north would throw you possibly right around a foot or more. But it's just this little narrow band, though. You can see, this is barely any distance here. Let's see if we can't measure this. I think there's a measuring tool here. Yeah, so from the top part of the 12-foot line, or I keep saying 12-foot, the 12-inch line to the bottom, that's only like a 50, 60-mile band. That's pretty tiny, according to Euro here. So, yeah, it could really go either way. But both models do suggest at least 5 inches, as you can tell. Honestly, it's really hard to tell for sure. The range I would go off right now is probably 4 to 6 locally higher possible. Let's see what they actually have you for. Matter of fact, let's pull up Winter Storm Watch. I ain't even kidding you. I didn't even look at this. I swear on my life. They have 4 to 6 inches 4 to 8 inches for you. Hey, man. I just got that by kind of rough doing estimates between what the model suggests here. Like I said, a lot of it depends on the, a lot of it depends on the track of the ice and the snow line there, essentially. All right, let's see here. Cobalt says, I know we're getting minus 35 plus. Is that wind chills? Goodness. Yeah, it's going to be pretty windy, too, at this event. Are we getting any snow? Let me look and see. You're up in New York. Oh, you're up north New York. Gotcha. Out of this event, yeah, we could see a little bit. We'll probably see a little bit of lake effect snow before then, though. Or a little bit of that little system that's up in the Great Lakes region could drive some snow before this happens. Euro, the one that's being further north doesn't show that much more. Maybe anywhere from 3 to 5 inches or so. GFS, on the other hand, actually honestly doesn't really have any impacts, hardly any impacts for your area with this big storm here. You're just a little too far up north from what it looks like. But you'll be getting some snow, though. But most of it's actually coming from that storm. Why am I not looking at the right panel? I'm so sorry, you guys. I apologize. I do that every once in a while. So you can see the first little bit come from that disturbance going through the Great Lakes right now, the lake effect, and then the storm mostly just south of you here. I really apologize. JW says, of course, and thank you. No problem, dude. You're very welcome. Thank you, though. Seriously. Let's see here. David saying, thanks again, friend. You're very welcome, dude. I got you. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it, man. Let's see, Calvin says, what worries me is that hard freeze on Sunday and Monday. Yeah, so that's the thing, too, is that the cold air is going to linger for a little bit, too. You're going to have the system go through, drive a bunch of ice, bunch of snow, and the temperatures are going to be really cold for a long time. So, that's going to make the clearing effort even worse. And so it'll probably take a little bit more time for stuff to clear out. And, ice is really... It just sucks. It's terrible. Let's see. Cobalt says, yeah, the North Push says snow for others, and then just very cold wind chill. Yeah, like I said, the Euro in this case wants the whole line pushed further north, which would not only bring the snow line further north, but it also bring the ice line further north. You got the GFS that wants it further south, bring both of them further south. So, there's just so much confusion. A lot of people are like, what are we going to see here? I do not know. Are we going to get ice? Are we going to get snow? Nobody knows. You're not wrong. Like I said, the models are just so out of sync right now. With just even that little differential there causes so much confusion, because it's just, it's crazy. But what we do know, so what I can tell you that we do know for a fact, there's going to be a big storm. Yes, this is going to happen. This is expected. But there's going to be a lot of ice, a lot of heavy ice. There's going to be a lot of snow, a lot of heavy snow. We know that for sure at this point. Like I said, though, the point of which essentially, the line of snow is and the line of ice is, that is what we need to determine. Because whoever gets it, they're going to get it hard. That's what I'm saying. It's just best that the entire area over here just prepare for the worst. Expect it to be ice. Like I said, even if you're in the heavy snow, still good to be ready for it. Either way. Let's see. What time's the new model run? Let's see. We're on the 18 UTC. I'm not exactly sure what time the 0 would run. Not too sure, because sometimes it takes a little bit to process and stuff like that, so not too sure. 18 UTC's been out for a while, though, so we'll probably have it, I'd say, within the next couple of hours, hopefully. But by then, I'm going to be long asleep, because I've been up since 4 a.m. I need to get to bed soon, honestly. I'm very tired. Very tired. I've been working pretty hard today for you guys. Like I said, we did 2 streams. This is my second stream today. We did 2 shorts, and I did 1 video on this channel. I'm proud of myself today, honestly. It was quite a bit. Like I said, we're going to be on it, you guys. We'll do the same tomorrow, too. I'm going to be working on it, same as I did today. You know, probably a morning stream, an evening stream, a couple shorts in between, and maybe a video. It depends. I don't know about the video. We'll see. It needs it, but I'll probably focus on streams and shorts maybe tomorrow. Let's see. I feel like I could get a lot more shorts out, so that'll probably be better. Anyways, see, so maybe 11. Maybe. Just keep an eye on it. But anyways, guys, if y'all have any questions before I roll off here, let me know. Like I said, if there's any more zip codes, anything like that you want me to look at, let me know. Like I said, tomorrow, hopefully we'll have some better agreement here in the models. I mean, obviously there's still a bit of a, a bit of an iffy spot right now. Let me bring up both the Euro and the GFS accumulations here. So there's that. We'll do edit layers. We'll do this. We'll do that. Precipitation 10-to-1 ratio. You get that old crusty stock one out of here. I have my own here, my custom made table. There we go. Good enough. Go back there. Oops. I think I broke it. There we go. All right. So yeah, you can obviously tell the difference here. You know, look at Kentucky. You know, GFS showing the heavy snow on the southern side, and then Euro showing it on the upper side. Then you got Tennessee here. You can see Tennessee on the Euro showing hardly any snow, and then the GFS has like a full-on foot or more. But Euro having the ice still there. Remember that too. So, anyways, talking about a chance of trees exploding in the Midwest due to cold. Yeah, I saw that actually. Yeah, up in the upper Midwest Plains area. Yeah. Crazy. Just the sheer thermodynamics at its greatest. Let's see. What's up, Sam? I'm good to see ya. How about Marshfield, Missouri? Let me look. So Missouri is in a little bit of a disagreement as well. Figures. So you're in a winter storm watch. The National Weather Service has you between 2 and 7 inches of snow possible. More than likely, you're going to be out of the ice because, yeah, actually, you will be out of the ice here because the ice would be in this area. So here's the GFS. So the ice would be kind of down here on the GFS. Actually, on both models, really, see, obviously, GFS has the snow line further south. The ice would be a little further south, but still, Missouri would be fine with the ice. I'm not expecting that, but out there by you here, though, I mean, you got the GFS showing a good maybe 2-3 inches, while the Euro shows maybe 5, 6, 7 inches or so. So, big difference. That's what needs to be worked out in the models. They have a little bit of work to do. Samuel says, yeah, I'm going to go live tomorrow. I'm not giving a specific time because I hate committing to times because I sometimes can't meet the deadline and stuff like that. So that's why it's important to have notifications on. That way, whenever we do go live, you can get the updates. So, but I'm not going to give you guys a time. It depends on when I wake up, stuff like that too, which I'm not getting into. Anyways. Calvin says, this is winter storm going to be similar to February 2021. Is that the big ice storm? I mean, they're both going to be quite significant regardless, yes. I don't have the exact panel I can bring up for comparison. Plus, given the disagreement here, too. Let's see here. Stormy weather says I had to leave tomorrow for Barron, Wisconsin to meet up with my brother. And then we're leaving. My brother's at the doctor's appointment. That's what I would say. Won't be back for the cold. Gotcha. Well, be careful, my friend. Might know more tomorrow. Yeah, we should definitely know more tomorrow. Given that we'll have more model guidance and stuff like that, or more model runs, so we'll be closer to the event. So hopefully we'll get some of that. Get some more better data here. Absolutely. I mean, you guys can literally just see it here. Like if we look at the here, let me just bring up my pen. Hopefully it didn't glitch on me here. We'll bring this one up here. Of course, it's glitching on me. It's just how it works. It wouldn't be a proper stream without my pen here glitching on me. Here, let me bring this up real quick. All right, so here we go. So we'll do the Euro model in the blue, which Euro is on the right panel. But, this kind of pinkish area, this purple pink, this is kind of where the color table is set to be at, like, 1 foot or greater, essentially. So that's the Euro. And then you have the GFS here, which we'll do that in kind of, we'll do yellow for that. GFS, you can see, is a bit further south, obviously, compared to the two. So, 2 different scenarios, really. We're just kind of awaiting better agreement. What's up, Broncos? Good to see you, dude. But all right, everybody. Well, if you guys have any final questions before I roll off here, be sure to let me know. Yeah, we're gonna be heading off here. I need to get to bed because, like I said, I've been up since 4 a.m. I'm a little bit sleepy. Been really cranking out those updates for you guys today. We'll do the same tomorrow. Like I said, I'll get up in the morning. I'm gonna do a stream tomorrow morning. I'll probably do at least 2 to 3 or 4 shorts tomorrow too. Honestly, we'll just throw a bunch of those out. Midday updates and stuff. And then during the evening, I'll do another live stream. So 2 streams definitely tomorrow. We'll do 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening. And we'll probably just fill the middle with a bunch of shorts. Let's see here. Do I think that the 0 Zulu will drop crazy south with the hunter data? I'm excited to see how it plays out in North Carolina. Well, it seems the majority of the models, other than the main GFS, want it going further north. So if anything, it would likely, from the way models are at right now, I think the GFS would likely go further north. I mean, only time will tell, of course. There is still room that it could literally go south. No pun intended, but but yeah, we'll see. I think if anything, the GFS in theory should go north, but we'll see. The coldest temperature recorded in Wisconsin was 55 below 0. Oh, that's lovely. That is something that I would immediately die in. No, thank you. I get cold whenever it's freezing out anymore here in Florida, even warmer than that. See here, 0 Zulu 100 data in 30 minutes. So excited. Well, there you go. But all right, everybody. Well, I think I'm gonna roll off for now. Thank you all for stopping by. By the way, if you guys are new, consider subscribing. Maybe leaving a like. It'll be much appreciated. Once again, everybody, thank you all for joining. Thank you all for hanging out with us tonight here. And like I said, stay safe. Just make sure y'all are getting prepped. And like I said, prepare for the worst. Expect, for a lot of these areas here, we're not really sure if it's going to be snow or ice. Regardless, we need to prepare for it. Either way, it's going to be heavy impacts either way with snow or ice. So, but anyways, Bama says, so you get plenty of sleep. I plan on it. I do plan on it. But all right, everybody, thank you all so much for joining. You guys take care. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your night here. Once again, everybody, thank you all for the people who have supported us directly. For an example, David with the CashApp donation. Thank you so much for that. It was greatly, greatly appreciated. Whoops. Then a big shout out goes to Jenny as well as Yeknom, as well as Polly for the memberships. Thank you guys for the tips and the donations. I really appreciate it. It helps us out a ton. Helps keep us going, really. So, it allows me to just focus on this for work and just keep you guys up to date with everything. So I really appreciate it, guys. And of course, thank you for everybody else who just joins as well, just to hang out. It's much appreciated. But I just want to go ahead and give a little bit of extra thanks to the supporters who support us directly. So thank you, guys. Once again, that goes to David for today. As well as Jenny, let's say Yeknom, I said it was Polly, and actually now Andy. Thank you, dude, for the $1. I appreciate it, man. It's greatly appreciated. And but thank you, dude. Thank you, Andy. Big shout out goes to you as well. But all right, everybody. Well, thanks for stopping by. Really appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow morning for a live stream. That'll be the first thing I do whenever I get up. Is I'll prep the stream. We'll go live for a morning update. Not sure what time. Just depends on when I get up and stuff. And then, of course, like I said, for the afternoon, we'll probably just post a couple of YouTube short updates. And then in the evening at some point, like we did today, we'll go live again for you guys. So we'll do 2 streams today. 2 streams tomorrow and a couple of shorts in between. So, All right, everybody. Thanks for joining. You guys take care. Have a wonderful rest of your night, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, my friends. See ya later on.